Okay, a very good morning to everybody, and welcome to the conclusion session of our industry working group. Yeah, so let's quickly take a look at our agenda. Today's agenda is going to include our journey, what we have achieved in the last 4 months as part of the working group, and of course, what will be the focus in the next few months as of now. And we will definitely give you a glimpse and a quick peek on what is going to come up next on DICE ID ecosystem. Okay, let's get started with the next slide, please. All right, so let's look at what we have achieved so far. Last year, Wipro Lab 45 launched India's first and largest digital infrastructure for verifiable credentials in the talent industry, aligning with the National Skills Qualifications Framework. Now, through collaborations with all of you, and that's over 100 plus EdTech organization, training and recruitment agencies, BGV companies, we have been able to establish a robust talent ecosystem in India. So thank you all for your support. Now, in DICE ID, as you all know, we utilize encryption and embedding techniques. So all the data remains secure and only accessible to users through their identity wallet, which has empowered candidates and users to have complete control over their own personal data. So deciding when and how to disclose any information in the digital environment. Now, how's DICE ID helping everybody in the ecosystem? Let's take a look at that. Tech professionals today, no, please go back to the previous slide. Tech professionals and the new hires can say goodbye to physical document issuance, eliminating the risks of data tampering and fraud. Institutions can now reduce operational cost, while hiring organization and recruiters can streamline onboarding by reducing the time and expenses related to managing identity and access management systems. So physical document collection becomes unnecessary, resulting in faster recruitment processes and collaboration opportunities with academic institution, employers, and edtech entities are enhanced, enabling the sharing of mutually beneficial data. Now, India is predicted to have the world's largest workforce by 2050. That's exceeding 1 billion individuals. And there had been no easy or standardized way to validate courses and certification. And today, DICE ID can tackle these challenges seamlessly surrounding the skill and credential verification. And I'm very happy to say that we are right now facilitating the issuance and verifications of skill credentials seamlessly. And we have processed over 1 million transactions organically. So that is the power of DICE ID platform. So again, thank you all for that. This has been our achievement so far in the last 4 months. Let's look at the next slide. A quick glimpse of all the 100 plus members in our ecosystem who've been contributing to the success of this. And next slide, please. So this was the roadmap. When we kicked off with the industry working group back in October, we created a roadmap. We set a certain milestones as a part of the working group to be able to achieve that on the standardization element. And today we conclude that standardization element because we now have the standardized skill and work credentials, which are published on the schema of DICE ID console for all of you to be able to start utilizing it. And very happy that we have been able to achieve these milestones. Of course, moving forward, there will be more milestones to have as part of the working group, and there will be a lot of more exciting things coming up, which we will talk about in the next slides. Next slide, please. Okay. Now, looking at, so we saw what we have achieved and completed with your support so far. And by the way, DICE ID is also being used entirely in Wipro for our own certifications now. So through which we are publishing and issuing a lot of Gen AI certificates as well. Now, what is the focus now for all of you? I request each member of the industry working group to be the voice of the industry. So it is through you guys that we will be able to make the Indian workforce more skilled and powerful digitally. So thanks. There are a lot of you who have already completed your integration with the ICID platform. So thank you. Please continue to issue those credentials. Now, for those of you who haven't completed it yet, I request you all to create your credentials today in the UAT environment of DICE ID. And we have a great team who's always there to support you all. And once you've tested it out, you can seamlessly move to the production environment and, of course, be able to issue and verify standardized credential on Wipro DICE ID seamlessly. So all of you have free transactions which will expire in December 2024. So please start utilizing them because we have a lot of more exciting things coming up on our platform for you all to be able to utilize as well. Now I would like to hand over to my colleague Hitashi, who will talk about a little more about how this is happening so seamlessly on our ecosystem. And he will also give you all a glimpse on what is coming up next, which I'm very excited about. Okay, Hitashi, over to you. And next slide, please.
Yeah, thank you, Nita. Right. So what we have currently in DICE ID, and many of you would have already, you know, used this functionality, is the ability for organizations like yourselves to issue credentials which represent the skill of an individual, right? So here the scenario is where Maya completes certain training or assessment with any of the edtechs, and based on that she is issued a credential, and uh, once she has the credential in her identity wallet, she is able to prove it to any of the verifying organizations that she has the relevant skill. And typically this can be used with recruiters or employers who while applying for a job, right? So the verification happens instantly, and it can help Maya get shortlisted for an for in the hiring process, right? And the recruiters or employers, they don't need to contact the issuing organization, because the proof of the of the validity of the credential is on DICE ID, and it is something which is powered through blockchain, right? So this is what we have as of now, and we are slowly expanding it to other functionality, which I'll talk about in a bit. But to make this work, we also need to be able to standardize the credentials that we are using, right? Because this is an ecosystem of varied organizations. So if everybody follows a certain standard, then the interoperability of the credential is much higher, right? And that's why we had earlier sessions on how to standardize the schema based on which the credential will be issued, whether this credential is for a skill or whether it is representing a work experience. So by following a standard set of attributes, that can be achieved. So that's what we'll talk about on in the next slide. So so here, as you can see, that the issuing organization provides or issues a credential to the end user, right? And that credential is based on a schema with standard attributes, right? So this schema gets registered on blockchain, right? And this is a source of truth for all the other organizations. So when the end user, uses their credentials as a proof, right, to provide evidence that they have a certain skill, the verifying organization can use this standard set of attributes to set up a verification template and seamlessly validate the credentials, right? So because the credentials that were the attributes in the credentials that were issued and the ones which are being verified are following a standard vocabulary. So so that makes the interoperability possible. So that's why we recommend for any type of credential, right? Whether it is skill credential, whether it is work experience, right? And slowly you'll here our teams will reach out regarding community pass as well. So all credentials is we recommend that the standard set by the platform is something which should be used, right? So that's the importance of following a standard, and our skill credential standards also follow the NOS, and NSQF framework in terms of what attributes should be captured so that compliant training is represented accurately in the credential, right? So that's about what we have currently right now. And as Anita mentioned, please start integrating on UAT, and it is important that you move to the production, because that's where the transaction validity is actually valid, and it counts, right? So because for your end user, having they will not know anything about test environment, right? So the end user is always on live and on production, right? So for them, having a credential and associated certificate on the mainnet, DICE ID mainnet and production is what will help them, right? So yeah, so having covered what exists, let me quickly touch upon the upcoming things in the next slide. So, the first one is DICE ID Community Pass. So it represents the membership to the DICE ID ecosystem, right? So, and this is something which can be used as a campaign instrument to reach out to new users, right? Existing as well as new users on your behalf, right? And where you can communicate to them about any offer or a promotion that you want to do, right? And once they get this community pass notification, they will be able to get the credential and use that credential to access your business application, right? So they will be able to log in to your business app using the DICE ID Community Pass, and whoever does that can be eligible for that particular offer, right? So this is something which will help you in user acquisition, increasing your user base, right? So this is and I'm sure you must have received notifications from our team, Anita, Hari, Harshita, about the community pass. So please do participate in this initiative, right? Which is aimed to, you know, take your, increase your outreach of your offerings to the end users and help increase the user base, right? So the next one, which is coming up, is background verification. So while during our interactions with many of the organizations, we have found that background verification, the time and effort that is and cost that is spent on each verification is quite big, so we are planning to introduce real time BGV for certain aspects of a candidate's profile, right? And so that is something which will, you know, make the verification process completed in a matter of minutes, instead of days. So that is something which we have started working on, and it will be rolled out in a couple of months' time. And this is a value-added services, so obviously there will be certain pricing elements associated with it. But I'm sure this will be very helpful, in the overall BJV process, right? The third feature that we are planning to develop is having a tag-based preference mechanism for the end users. So the end users can specify whether they are interested in a particular technology or course, right, or type of job. And once they specify those preferences as tags, we will also ask, our member organizations to specific map their offerings to certain tags, right? So for example, if somebody is providing a training, they can map it to the relevant technology. So it's almost like the hashtag concept. So once the training providers map it to a tag in a set of tags, and similarly the job portals and the recruiters also tag their job descriptions or requirements, right? So all that matching will be done by an algorithm, and based on that, the users will get notified as to what all offerings exist in the ecosystem, right? So that will again help driving the end users get to their to the relevant training or the relevant job opening, right? And in turn, it will help acquire more users for yourselves. So these are the three main features that are upcoming in the next few months, and we will obviously send out notifications and hold webinars to explain how it works and how you can make use of it, right? So that's all on the that's upcoming features, right? And as a result of this set of features, for example, when we enable the BGV aspect of automated verifications. So what would get enabled is that a user will be able to create a verified profile for themselves, right? Which will be based on their credentials, such as identity credentials, education qualifications, work experience, professional certifications, right? So all those aspects which build somebody's profile. So if that profile is already verified, then the rest of the hiring process can be made much simpler, because the prospective employers will have the assurance that they are not looking at a fake profile, and they can they will get us set of candidates who already are genuine, right? And then the only thing that they need to further evaluate is whether they are matching with their specific requirements in terms of the technical skills and soft skills, right? So a large part of the the profiles which are fake and require a lot of screening and all, is something which will get eliminated, and the BGV process itself will get simplified, right? Because the candidate is able to use their digital credentials to create a verified profile, and whoever has a verified profile can be ranked higher in the whenever employers are looking for certain the relevant talent pool, right? So this is an illustration where Maya, has got certain credentials in her wallet from the different issuers in the ecosystem, and depending on the number of credentials she has, she can have a fully verified profile or a partially verified profile, but that will help her in the accelerating her job search. Okay. Yep. So yeah, back to you, Anita.
Thanks, Satashe. Thank you. All right. Okay. Next slide, please. So I just want to check if anyone has any questions here. We are happy to take it up. Okay. So I think it is clear.
Yeah,
If
I have a question,
yes,
Anita.
please. Yeah.
Is it possible that just for can we use your portal only for verification of the candidate? We have the entire database of the candidate, and only the verification process can be an API driven to your DICE ID, and we get back the verification. Is that possible?
So, any of the members of the industry working group, you can either use it as for issuing or verification. Either is fine. That is totally up to you.
Okay,
Mhm.
thank you.
Sure. Any other questions from anybody? All right. Okay. So we are always here to support you all. You all have my email address. Feel free to reach out to any of the DICE ID members on email or phone at any time. We are happy to get feedback. Let us know if you come across anything. And please, in terms of for the community pass, if any of you are interested to showcase your business offerings in the month of Feb, please do reach out to us and we'll be happy to support you. Thank you all for your time today. And until next time, we'll see you. Thank you. Good day.
Thank you, Anita. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.